Hi everyone, this is Caroline and I'm back in my studio today working on my pink rose, and it's a Saturday afternoon. It is cold where I live, so it's a good day to just be comfortable in here and work on some of my coloring. I've been trying to encourage myself to show up in the art studio at least for a few minutes every day to do something, even if it's a small section, just to take my time, work on calming my nervous system. I've been through quite a bit over the past year, and during that time I did not get to create, and I know that was not the wisest decision for me. I needed to create during that time, but between everything I had to do, all my responsibilities, my normal everyday job, it was nearly impossible for me to find energy for it. One of the things that I've been thinking about is, what kind of artist am I? And I don't know. I know I'm an art therapist, but what is my niche? What is my thing I like? And when I was in art school, I would be able to answer that as a painter. I loved oil painting. It was how I felt, was like when I painted, it felt like it was my soul coming out, and I enjoyed being in the studio. I felt like myself. But now I don't know. I don't know if that is still the case. When I went to grad school to be an art therapist, I feel like some of that passion for painting just changed over time. I think the reason why it changed over time was because as an art therapist, you have to be well versed in all mediums, and you have to understand what the medium could do to somebody as far as regression in life, their mental state, and then the symbols and the story behind the art, and learning to help guide them in that story instead of assuming and reading the paper for them, or the drawing, I should say, for them. Over time, you learn that as an art therapist, and you learn all these tools, and you collect all these art supplies, and then once when you kind of pull back from that field, or maybe burn out, or a change in how you're viewing your job or you as an artist, you start questioning, like, what do I like? And I did not keep up painting. I would dabble into it, but I never continued painting. So when I stepped back because of the stress I was under, I'm back in the studio, and I'm questioning, who am I as an artist? And throughout the years, I learned how to crochet and how to knit, and I like doing it as like just a fun thing to do on the side when I'm bored. It's not necessarily something I take serious, and I really don't want to take it serious. And I love to cross stitch. I will say that that is more my passion. But I follow people's patterns. I'm not creating the images myself, though I have thought about maybe taking like a color pencil drawing of mine that's original. This is literally me making it myself. I am not following a picture whatsoever. I thought, you know, maybe I could turn that into a cross stitch pattern. I'm not sure if I would do that. I don't even know how to even start with that. Does this resonate for anybody? That sometimes you get a little lost in what kind of artist you are and what your niche is and what you want to stick with. I find it challenging, especially with videos for YouTube because of the algorithm. If I switch over to painting, you know, do I lose people? Do I gain more people? You know, is that something I want to keep up, or is people going to know me as that type of artist and then expect only that type of medium from me? I just don't think I could do that. I am an art therapist. I dabble in all sorts of artwork, and I don't know if I could get away from that just to do one type of medium. I find that a challenge, a huge challenge for me. So right now, my interest is color pencil. And the reason why it's color pencil is because I need some control in my life. And color pencil, it's you could control. You could control the light and the darkness. You could control like the pressure you put on the paper, control the colors, and you could work within the lines. And you know, a little OCD goes a long way sometimes, as I say to people when it comes to color pencil, because if you don't want to be outside the lines and you have OCD, you know, coloring allows you to have that. It's like socially acceptable to keep yourself in those lines, and everyone would understand because you're coloring with color pencils. But I do love abstract work. I love painting where you don't necessarily are copying it for realism. It's fun and you're playing with paint, as I say. Picasso is one of my favorite painters. I like Monet and the Impressionist era because even though it's realism, there's an abstract component to it. And if you ever go up to the paintings, you really could see the different brushstrokes and textures the paint and the colors are giving. It definitely is called Impressionist art for a reason. But I can't say I'm an Impressionist artist. I can't say that. I could probably put myself in a little bit more in the category of abstract. I could also put myself in the category of whimsical art. The few videos I've made recently, those were just to loosen myself up, get myself reacquainted, allow myself to have some fun without being picky and trying to have everything to line up and have the right colors and the right shading and having the balance that I need in the drawing. It was just purely to have fun. I hope this resonates for some people who is still watching this video, and You know, sometimes we just need to be truly honest with what we're feeling as an artist, and that we're trying to find our way. And being away for such a long time is getting me to question myself as an artist, and will people even see me as an artist? Or do they see me as an amateur just giving this a try? I think it looks pretty good, and it'll be interesting to see how this ends up looking, because I'm just doing it from a creative standpoint and not using any image. It's just in my head. I think right now I'm going to take a break for the day. It's been a long day. I worked a little bit this morning and into the early afternoon, and I immediately started doing this drawing, and I think now I am going to prepare my dinner. I think it looks pretty good, and it'll be interesting to see how this ends up looking, because I'm just doing it from a creative standpoint and not using any image. It's just in my head. I think right now I'm going to take a break for the day. It's been a long day. I worked a little bit this morning and into the early afternoon, and I immediately started doing this drawing, and I think now I am going to prepare my dinner.